If you're a business owner or a manager and you're struggling to stay out of work on the weekends and after hours because employees or clients are always calling in, needing your attention, not knowing what to do, you're required to help solve problems, and you want to just be able to have a nice dinner with your family at night. And it's not that you don't mind being bothered, it's that you just don't want to be bothered. You just want to be able to have an evening with your family. You just want to be able to have dinner and not be interrupted. You just want to enjoy your weekend, be able to go out on the boat and not have to spend half the time putting out a fire, dealing with an employee, dealing with a client because somebody doesn't know what to do. If you're wanting to really enjoy the weekends and the evenings, then I'm going to talk to you about what I did to help get myself out of the business on the weekends and in the evenings, using something very simple that you literally could put into practice today. And the simple thing is using checklists. Now, not just any checklist, but using a checklist system that is web-based, that doesn't require paper. So let me explain. So my name is Seth, and I'm what's called an entrepreneur, whereas I am an employee, but I act like an entrepreneur. I have the privilege of doing that. I've been with the same company for 17 years. When I came to the company, we had less than 10 employees, and I've grown with it and helped grow it to over 100 employees. We currently have about 130 employees. We were doing less than seven figures in the business, and now we're approaching 9 figures. So lots of growth, and my job has been to help the founder out, help the owner out, free up his time. But by helping free up his time, I found myself not having much time myself, especially on the weekends and in the evenings. And as my team started to grow, I started to implement checklists that really was the difference maker in helping me get my time back. I've been able to spend evenings and nights with my family, not having to worry about if things are or aren't getting done. I haven't been needed to put out fires like I used to. I can go have a weekend and not worry about things. I can go on vacation and not be consumed by issues and problems, all because of web-based checklists. So we use a system called Asana, and it's like project management software, but we've incorporated it to use checklists. And checklists are near and dear to my heart because I grew up flying airplanes. And I think people think checklists are to make sure somebody knows how to do something. Actually, what I found is checklists are used to make sure that you don't forget to do something. It's not that you don't know how to do it. They're just to make sure that you get to do, or that you do the things that need to be done and you don't forget, especially when you're distracted. And why this is important is because when you follow checklists, if they're built out right, the end result is that the client gets a great experience. They get a consistent experience. And that ultimately is who's going to benefit from this. When your clients are getting great service all the time, consistently, you know what they start to do? They start to tell their friends. They start to tell their families. They start marketing for you through word of mouth, which is one of the best forms of advertisement that there is. And it doesn't cost anything when people are talking about your business. And that's how our aviation business grew, through word of mouth, because they were getting great service consistently all the time. And that's because we built in checklists for employees on not only how to do, but what to do. And we use Asana and a web-based because it allows us to build in accountability with it. It gives us like an audit trail of forensics, so we can, see who did what if there was a mistake or not. But getting ahead of myself here. So checklists, I want to talk to you about 3 things that checklists will benefit you and your employees when you put them into practice. So number 1, employees want to know what to do. So, if you're a founder, a business owner, an entrepreneur, or a manager, you may be good at working in situations that are ambiguous, that are gray. There's not a lot of structure. You probably built a business from nothing and you had to learn as you go. And so you're okay and you're comfortable with, not having structure or set practices in place. That was me. What I found was that most employees, though, they love structure. They love black and white. They don't like gray. They don't like being put into situations where they're not sure what to do. So checklist gives them the boundaries and the guardrails for them to not only know what to do, but how to do it, when to do it, who's doing it, when it's due by. And when you have employees that come into work and they know what's expected of them, then they're happier. When they come in and they know exactly what to do, they're going to be happier. There's not going to be this gray or unstructured messiness that entrepreneurs and maybe other managers are comfortable with. So that's the first thing that checklists do. The second thing that checklists do is they provide immediate satisfaction for tasks being checked off. When I was growing up, we grew up on a 4-acre piece of property that I got to mow the lawn. And I enjoyed mowing the lawn because there was instant gratification of seeing your progress being done. So I would mow in stripes. So every pass, every stripe that I would do as I was mowing the lawn, I could see progress being made. And that was super satisfying. When you look at a yard and the grass is all grown, and then you start mowing it and you see those crisp lines, and there's just that satisfaction that you get right away from a job well done. Well, this is what checklists do, especially web-based checklists, is when they're built out and people are checking off things, checking off to-dos, checking off tasks, there's this sense of accomplishment that they can see that they're making progress right then and there. So, and I found that employees who like checklists, they really do get satisfaction with seeing what they've done, what they've accomplished. There is this instant gratification when you have checklists in place. So not only do they know what to do, they can see how much they have done, how much they have to continue on. They know right where they're at. And that makes them, happy. And the third thing is checklist keeps employees just grounded when distractions happen. So distractions are happening all the time. And if you don't have a checklist system, a lot of times you're working on a project and you get interrupted. I remember when an employee, they left their wallet at home. So their spouse was going to bring the wallet to the office. So they're working away on their computer and they get a text message from their spouse that says, "Hey, I'm here, come down and get your wallet." So they stopped what they were doing. They went downstairs, got the wallet. While they were down there, they saw an employee they hadn't seen in quite a while. Was talking to them briefly for 5 minutes. They ended up seeing a client in the lobby, talked to them. They took a phone call from a client while they were downstairs. They hung up from that. As they were going upstairs, a friend of theirs sent them an Instagram message that they just had to look at right then and there. So before you know it, they sit back down at their desk, and because there was a checklist system in place, they knew exactly where they left off. Have you ever not had a checklist system and you sat down at your desk after you started on something and got distracted and you're like, where did I leave off? where was I? Did I already do this? I'm not sure. The checklist, it gives you that ability to manage distractions way better so that people don't lose where they left off. we're going to get distracted. Things are going to come in and they're going to get you off of what you're doing. The key is to be able to have a system in place that can reorient you really quickly where you left off. And without checklists, it's really hard to, and it takes a lot longer to re-engage where you left off. And remember, the whole point of checklists is so that things are getting done correctly, consistently, so that your client gets that consistent experience. And they don't have to spend all this energy wondering, what the experience is going to be like. Kind of like going to a restaurant, your favorite restaurant, you probably don't spend much mental energy wondering if the food's going to be okay, if the service is going to be okay, where to park, all that stuff. Because you've been there so many times, you choose to go there because of the familiarity. That's how it should be with your business and with your clients. Like they should spend minimal energy trying to think about how the experience is going to be. And if they do have to think of what the experience is going to be like because it's inconsistent, then that's not good. But this whole part of like checklists, not only is it beneficial for your employees, it's beneficial for you as a business owner, you as a manager. Remember, you probably started the business or you got put in this position as a manager because you're good, because you know what you're doing. But as you grow, the increase in business, the increase in responsibility, the increase of adding employees creates a lot of complexity, and it can take time. It can take time away from normal work hours, and you find yourself constantly being drawn back in where you're missing dinners, you're missing family stuff, you're missing weekends, you're missing experiences you're having that are supposed to be enjoyed by you. You're supposed to be out enjoying the lake. You're supposed to be enjoying being on the boat, being at the movies, being at the dinner with your family and friends. You're supposed to be enjoying that. You shouldn't be continually drawn away from that because you're dealing with an issue because somebody doesn't know what to do at their job. But when you put checklists in place, that is going to really instantly provide two things. The first thing is going to provide answers to what needs to be done by the employee, and that's going to cause less phone calls and less interruptions for them to reach out to you. And listen, one of the things that I always say when I leave the office is, hey, if you need anything, give me a call. And I do that just to reassure them that, like, hey, I want to help, and that should be the heart of you, and I'm sure it is, the heart of the founder, the entrepreneur, the manager. Your heart should be, I want to help, but you shouldn't have to be involved all the time. And a lot of times we find ourselves, especially when we're growing, when we're adding employees without structure, when we're adding employees without checklists, that we're called on even more. And that can start to lead to burnout. But you can get your time back with properly crafted checklists. So one other bonus thing that's needed that checklists provide is you don't need to hire experts to get a job done. If you have a well thought out, a well crafted checklist, you don't have to hire an expert. You can hire somebody that, as long as they can follow instructions and they have a good attitude, they could probably get the job done just as good, or maybe even better than an expert who has it all in their head. And Asana has allowed us to create checklists. It allows us to create easy generic checklists, but it also has allowed us to have a lot of finesse and create complex checklists depending on the situation. And it stays with the company. It stays, it's web-based, so if somebody leaves, the process doesn't leave with them. If you don't have a checklist and you have like an expert employee who does things well, but it's all in their head, and they decide to leave, and guess what? You're like hosed. Not only did the employee leave, but the process left. But when you have checklists in place and they're web-based, which is why we use Asana, this says nothing, what is this? Asana, A-S-A-N-A. It's not sponsored on this video, but it's what we use so that if an employee leaves, the process didn't go with them. So we can hire somebody, and as long as they can follow that checklist, then we're going to be okay. They don't need to be an expert in the job, which really helps out. So, that is probably the biggest key that has not only helped our company grow and scale, it's helped get my time back. It's helped me, and it'll help you get your time back. It'll help you enjoy those evenings and the weekends and the vacations. Your business can grow without you when you have checklists in place for tasks for your employees. So, hey, if you are interested more about this, there's a link there's an email in the description where you can reach out to me. I'd love to help you. I'd love to help. I could take a discovery call with you, but just send me an email. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.